Hey, I'm Aja A, and welcome to Sunshine Haze. Don't forget to check out all the links that I have listed down in the description box, and if you like the video, please give me a little thumbs up. If you have any questions after the video is over, feel free to drop them down below. I try to respond to everyone. And if you all know people interested in astrology, numerology, tarot, or whatever I'm talking about on this channel, go on and send them this link. And don't forget to hit subscribe. And of course, thanks for tuning in and rocking with me. May this info help y'all live your best lives. Peace. Hey, you guys, welcome back. Already got a frog in my throat. Welcome back to my channel. This is a little late. I really thought about not doing these last few videos, but I said let me not do the rest of the zodiac like that. So here's your video for the Gemini lunar cycle. So this may just be kind of a reflection for you, but there's also about a week left. So yeah, and this is the typical lunar cycle tarot forecast 4-card spread, looking at the energy coming in for y'all, any obstacles you may be facing. Since we're dealing with Gemini energy, looking at where you need to let life lead you during this month, or where life has been leading you during this month. And then, as always, a quick little soul message. This video is for the Aries sun, Aries moon, and Aries rising. So before I get started, if you feel like what I'm saying doesn't resonate with you, go on and check out your moon and or rising sign, which I do have linked down below in the description box. All right, y'all, let's just go on and get started. The first card that you have coming up in your spread is the energy popping up for you, or the energy that you need to be tapping into. And you've got the friendship card. And Aries, wasn't this a message for you last time, or like the time before that, was to like be nice to people or something of the sort? I think this card is popping up for you because this is really a good time for you to look at your relationships with people. It doesn't necessarily have to just be your friends and your companions. You can look at your familiar relationships, your romantic relationships, and also your friendships. We are underneath Gemini lunar energy. Gemini resonates with the energy of communication, and we are in a 3 universal year. So Aries, this card popping up for you coming up here does tell me that your message is you need to be looking at your communication during this month, and the shifts that you're coming into, or the changes that you're making, or the things that you realize are popping up for you, so that you can, start to communicate a little bit better with people. You guys, y'all Aries, y'all are known for when you're operating on your shadow side, being a little selfish, being reckless with your mouths. And I think this card is popping up to say, okay, it is time for you to kind of evaluate your communication, especially before we go into the retrograde coming up next month. So, hey. Also, the friendship card is number 17 in this deck, and 1 resonates with the energy of independence and new beginnings and new cycles, and 7 resonates with the energy of truth. So I really do think for you Aries, this card popping up here, 1 carries a literal message of look at your relationships and the way that you communicate with people, but I also think that it says, okay, this is a time for you to kind of take a look at yourself, kind of do a self-evaluation and look at where you can improve. And then 17 does break down to 8, which is the number of cycles of karma, of infinity, and of abundance. So for you Aries, whatever changes you're making, or whatever things you start to realize, are so that you can excuse me, sorry y'all, I was trying to write it out. I was like, I can get this out without having to drink the water, but nope, sorry. As I was saying, I think that this card is coming up with this message, especially with the numerology here, to say, hey, whatever changes are coming in, whatever things are popping up for you, whatever you're realizing, these things are happening for you to make positive shifts, positive shifts in your relationships with others and the way that you communicate with others, okay? Oops. All right. So the next card that you have coming up is in the position of your crossing energy, or any obstacles you may be facing or you may have faced during this lunar cycle. And you've got the Radha Mambo, which is the Queen of Air. And this card carries the energy of clarity and of cutting yourself off from the things that no longer serve you. So again, Aries, I was talking about, taking a step back and looking at yourself and looking at, did I say looking at, you know what? It's like 3 in the morning. Y'all, I don't know. Anyways, taking a step back and looking at yourself and seeing where you could improve. This card carries the energy of, okay, if you look at the imagery on it, she's cutting off, it looks like a mask, but I when I look at this, it kind of looks like, if you think about it, I really don't want to compare this to a spider, but this is like the best thing I could think of, or a snake, which is not any better. Kind of shedding a skin, but not wanting to shed the skin, knowing that you need to, so having to forcefully do so because you have gained that clarity and you understand that this no longer serves you. This is not who you are anymore. So for you, Aries, you're looking at during this lunar cycle what you need to improve upon, what you need, habits you need to break, and what, really what's causing rifts in your relationships, and what it where your communication lacks. This is a crossing energy though, so this does tell me that y'all are, even though this is an air card, y'all are kind of tapping into that Aries, and me, well, this is the way that I want it, this is how it's going to be, and this is the crossing energy for you during this time. And I do talk about these cards being turned into upright positions to become supporting energies, and you can very much do so with this card during this lunar cycle, but you have to step a little bit out of that shadow Aries that you guys do slide into sometimes. So for you guys, you kind of gotta, like I said, take a step back and say, okay, what am I doing that ain't right? How am I acting that ain't right? What am I saying that's not right? What do I need to fix? And I don't like to say fix or right and wrong, but that's the best way that I can describe it in this sense. So for you guys, you can turn this into an upright position, but you've got to be willing to, cease the bad habits. You've got to be willing to say, okay, I don't have to do this anymore. I don't have to act like this anymore. I don't have to A, B, and C. And you'll find yourself in this, harmonious, positive, balanced, and abundant energy that this friendship card is carrying. And you'll find yourself really making changes for the better and coming into new cycles with these changes. And when you make positive changes for your lifestyle, that's when you start to see things shift in the physical, I that's bothering me, but I'm not gonna, whatever. I wanted to sit up straight. Okay, Aries. The next card that you have coming up in your spread is in the position of where you need to let life lead you. Where do you need to let this Gemini breeze take you? And you've got Na Nan Bouclou La Flambeau, which is the 2 of fire, Petro 2. And this is a card of alignment. If you look at this, the imagery on this one, these are all little heads, and they've got fire in their third eyes. So I feel like this is kind of like an awakening for you, an enlightenment period. Again, I was talking about a shift coming, understanding what no longer serves you, using your own strength to cut yourself from your own negative cords of attachment, right? Putting yourself into harmonious energy so that you can come into this space where you are, coming into alignment. And when you come into alignment with whatever energy you're supposed to be in alignment with, that's again when you start to see things start to shift into the physical. So this is a card, do not be resistant to your own change, Aries, and understand that you don't have to control everything. Things don't always have to go your way, and sometimes things have to shift and go in a different direction in order for you to be able to tap into this energy. So just keep that in mind and know that that's what this Gemini lunar cycle has been all about, your communication and your realignment with the self, which is really fucking popping, I think, especially because you're a couple months into your new year. So it's like, okay, you're coming into your strides and you're getting ready to take off, but you got some things to work through. You still got a little bit of stuff to release before you can come into that harmonious energy. And again, I forget what sign I was talking about, or if I was even, this might have been a client reading, but I was talking about, not being able to align yourself with what you need to be aligned with if you're still carrying around old shit. So Aries, work through these bad habits, get rid of it, fix your communication. I don't like to say fix, but work on your communication and find yourself in alignment with yourself, okay? All right, the last card that you guys have coming up in your spread is in the position of the soul message, and you've got Burgundy, which is the number 10, which is 1 and 0, again, talking about those new cycles, amplified by the 0. This Burgundy card, my mouth is so dry. This Burgundy card also carries the energy of awakening your passion. Aries, you tell me, if you're clouded by outdated judgment, are you truly in alignment with the self? And are you truly doing what you're passionate about? Or are you doing what an old version of you is passionate about? It was rhetorical. I know the answer. So, Aries, work through all this shit. Work on your communication. Tap into that 3 energy. Come into new cycles. Allow yourself to release what needs to be released so that you can come into alignment, because you're not going to be able, and Aries, you guys are fire, so if you're not in alignment with what you're supposed to be in alignment with, if you're not putting your energy into what you are truly and honestly actually passionate about, you're not going to be happy. You guys are fire. You don't do well doing things that don't, you know, really ignite a spark within you. So be nice once again, and then also figure out what habits and what situations and what people are no longer serving you, and also figure out where you can improve within yourself and within your situations and within your relationships as well. Okay, Aries? All right, y'all, that is your message. I hope it resonated with some of y'all. If you have any questions or comments, or feel like you need a personal reading, drop a comment or whatever, or, you know, you can book a reading with me. I have all that information linked down below. Again, watch the Gemini Lunar cycle video. We've got like a week left, but you can look at it for some reflection if you're kind of curious about the energies that you've been dealing with or been working through, as you should have been. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. I will see y'all next time.